You know, the IFBB has announced that they're going to have the Olympia. And I'm sure Jake Wood, who owns the Olympia now, and Dan Solomon, who runs the Olympia, absolutely want to hold the Olympia. But Dennis James made a very good point, and I mentioned it last week, that it's going to be hard to hold an Olympia without sponsors. Who's going to sponsor an event, you know, that if they can't have a booth there? I mean, aside from people who might sponsor a live stream of the event. So the question is, will we have a contest schedule? I think that we probably will at some point this year. I don't think the whole season will be, you know, wiped clean. I would like to believe that by August, we're going to start seeing some bodybuilding shows. I think that the way that the Olympia will be held and scheduled will be different. I think that if AMI was running the Olympia, they would probably cancel it. Okay, because they're a big company and they have to work on dollars and cents and spreadsheets. I think because Jake Wood owns the Olympia now, and he's a private individual who every single year finances women's bodybuilding out of his pocket, not making a penny off of it, I think we'll see an Olympia. I think he'll make sure we have an Olympia, even if he has to put the prize money up himself. In what iteration it will be, I don't know. Where it will be held, I don't know.
Well, Dave, not to jump in, but we did have a few people commenting, and it is a valid question because Dennis James did bring up that point specifically about vendors, right? And obviously the importance, and then obviously the component of the Expo. Could you see a scenario in which we only have the Mr. Olympia competition without an Expo?
Well, that's what I suggested. I said, you know, but then again, like I said, who's going to sponsor just the webcast, you know what I mean? Or just the show itself. I mean, just to put a banner on stage. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get enough money, but I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if that matters. You know, Jake Wood is like a guy who loves bodybuilding. He might find a way to make it happen anyway, even without the sponsors. So it's all going to depend on them. Does Jake want to spend the money and do it? You know, I'm sure Dan will do whatever Jake says, and they'll put on a great production. I think that we probably will be able to have a couple of shows prior to the Olympia, and then some special invites. I don't know if it would behoove us to push the Olympia back, you know, to maybe October or November, just to give some more time. We all don't know what's going to happen with this quarantine. That's the issue. When will it break? When will it open up? You know, in Florida here, we have some cases of it, but it's starting to build. It's like New York is kind of winding down, but places like Florida now are going to start building up. So are we going to get different waves of this coronavirus in different states as it migrates from state to state? We don't know that yet. Right now we're kind of like in the dark, and I don't think anyone is no one's saying, hey, we're locking down for the next year, because I think people will go into a panic if they do that. So they're kind of going, all right, we're going to go a month at a time at this point. I think at the end of April we'll know better, but I have a feeling at the end of April they're going to extend this quarantine till the end of May, and then at the end of May they're going to reassess. So it's hard to make a prediction now. I think for anyone to make a prediction, I know that I'm training my guys and girls as if there are going to be some competitions coming up in July and August, specifically the Masters Nationals, you know, Team Universe, USA, all these, you know, big shows. I'm planning on them, you know, until we're told otherwise. That's what we have to do. And these athletes have to have a mindset as to what they're going to get ready for. And that's what we're gunning for. And I'm sure all the Olympia guys are going to also, hey, I got the Olympia in so many weeks. I'm going to get ready for this show. If it gets canceled, fine, but I got to be ready to do this show in case they're going to hold it.